Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. Today we are in Tabletop Simulator to take a look at some of the small scale stuff that I was talking about a couple weeks ago. Now the reason why we're here is because I can just pick up and mess with this stuff, and it's just a little bit easier. So what we have here is a Alien Hives list and a Battle Brothers list. These are both 3,000 points. I'm going to pop out and show you the lists. So here's our Battle Brothers list. You can see it is 2,985 points, 3,000 points, and this is the way I have built the squads. We're going to start off here with the Pathfinders. They are squads. It is 3 squads with toughness of 3. And then the squad weapons here show 9 heavy rifles. So each of the bases is going to have 3 shots. Heavy rifles, 24-inch, 1 attack, AP1. We're going to switch everything over to centimeters, but that's not an option in the army builder, so we're kind of working within the parameters that we have set up. So I also had it to where you can add upgrades to them, like this small scale Battle Brothers. That is the name of the army that I have on Army Forge right now. That's the only one that I really have done right now. So you can go take a look at them yourself. So like the Battle Brothers here, again, this one comes with 3 shots. It would have 9 heavy rifles, but in each of the squads, we upgraded one of them to be a flamer. You're going to have the option to do a heavy or a special weapon in each of the squads. So this way is my idea of how it's going to work. Then we have Support Brothers. These come in groups of 2 instead of 3. 3, toughness 3. And for these, they have 2 of the heavy weapons apiece. They still have 3 close combat attacks apiece. That's why it says 12 close combat weapons. But we have 8 laser cannons in here across those 4 bases. So they each get 2 shots. And then here are smaller sized characters, like this one here, the Master Destroyer, that I keep closing. It's not really a model. What I've done with it is joined to the Destroyers, who all have dual energy claws. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and just remove all the weapon options out of them. What the character is it's just a way to attach rules to different squads. Like, let's get in here and look at the Destroyers. So these are our Destroyers. We're just going to assume that it is one of these models in here. So one guy is going to give the benefit to all 3 of those squads. And then we got 3 APCs and 3 battle tanks. Now the APCs, I did not put a transport value on them. All the transport values are going to be 3 because they're each going to be able to carry 1 squad. And that's just not an option that's even in Army Forge. So I didn't put it on there. But as you can see, 1, 2, 3 APCs for 1, 2, 3 squads. I missed an option, so we got 6 laser cannons across the 3 battle tanks. And what I generally did for the heavier weapons is, because the squads were cut down to 3 shots apiece and toughness 3 for the heavier weapons, I generally cut the shots in half or cut the damage in half. Just because, think of it as an abstract thing. They have 2 laser cannons on the profile, but they would actually have 4 laser cannons if you were doing like full-scale OPR. So yeah, those are the Battle Brothers. Over here are the Alien Hives. And because the Hive Lord is definitely more than just a small character, he actually does have a stat block. As you can see, mostly cut in half. Quality 3, defense 2, toughness 6 instead of 12. 4 heavy razor claws, but they only have 2 attacks, AP1. Stomp 2 instead of 4 at AP1. The Alien Hives had a lot of give and take, a lot of break points. It was hard for me to find the middle, so generally I rounded up when it came to that. So here were the Assault Grunts. We got 2 squads of 6, again toughness 3, and they all have 3 razor claws apiece, so that'll be 6 attacks per base. Shooter squads, toughness 3, 6 shots with biospinners, so 6 shots per base. Ravenous Beast, same thing. 9 razor claws, 2 attacks apiece. More beasts. Here we got the spore guns. The spore guns, the artillery really was interesting for me to cut in half. I think I cut down the attacks or something because it's still got a lot of damage to it. But you are a group of 3 mortar beasts. Maybe in your mind you're firing more than 1 shot each, so that's why it justifies the blast of 6. A couple Carnival Rexes, again with heavy razor claws, and the Hive Titan with a Titanic Jaw and Titan Stomp. This one is just generally cut in half of where it was. normally. And the Alien Hives small scale isn't released yet because I'm not done with all the upgrades, because, oh good lord, do they have upgrades. So let's get into, let's see how this is going to work. So I've set up a little scenario here. Just ignore the Battletech Alpha Strike. They just had the cooler maps in Tabletop Simulator. We have a town, or a crossroads here, being defended from the Alien Hives. And here we got our APCs with the guys inside. We've got our support squads here. They didn't have a dedicated model with guys with laser cannons, so we went with the chaplain option. We got our Predator Annihilators over here, or our battle tanks, and some scouts there. So this seems like it is like not that many models for 3,000 points until you get over here. Here we got Titan Mortar Beasts. We got the Assault Grunts, Shooter Grunts. We have the Ravager Beasts. And we have the Hive Titan, Shooters, Assault Grunts, Carnival Rexes, and then more of the Ravagers over here. So I'm going to run through a small game here in Tabletop Simulator, and we're going to see how it works. So here we go. We got our dice at the ready. We're going to go ahead and roll to see who goes first. There's going to be the Battle Brothers, and here is the Alien Hives. Alien Hives are going to go first. Now, remember, I've moved everything over to centimeters, so this could take a few turns to even get, engaged because of all the hills and trees and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and speed through things until we get to some action. So I'll be right back. Okay, that would explain a little bit. It is going to be the start of turn number 3, and nothing has really gotten close enough to engage. And I realize that's because the board I'm playing on is a little bit bigger. It's 88.2 inches long, so it should be 72. It should be that long, but it is what it is. So here we go. We get some of the first action here. These heavy tanks were able to conga line themselves to where they can see the Titan over there. We're going to make sure that we are in range. So only the first one's going to be in range because it is only 36 centimeters. So means we only take 2 shots. And we're going to have 1 hit, meaning that that Titan needs to make a 5-up save. And it does. Okay, so much for... it's pretty anticlimactic. All right, we'll be back. Okay, here we are at the end of that turn. Again, not much happening because there was some good activation management on the Alien Hive side, and then the Battle Brothers just don't have much on the board. So let's go ahead and go into the next turn. I think this will be turn number 4 before we meet up. This might be an argument to keep everything in inches. Maybe. It definitely would have sped this up. So obviously, if you go centimeters, you're going to need more than a 4-turn game. So let's go on to the next turn, and we're going to have some stuff happening now. So for the fight for this objective, we're going to have all 3 of these tactical guys. They are going to move around their APCs. Move around, move through. There we go. And they're going to open fire here. So that is going to be 3 flamers and 6 heavy rifles. So let's check our range. Okay, so one of the flamers is going to be out. Pull up the dice, see how big the dice are compared to them. Oh, Lord. 2. So there we got those. We got 2 hits, turns into 6 hits. Then we got 6 more heavy rifles. And 3 more hits, so it turns into 9. So here we go. We got these 3 are at AP1, so looking for a 6. Okay, none of those. And then we got these 6 looking for a 5. Okay, we got 1 of those. So overall 8 wounds. So that is going to be 1, 2, and then this one has 2 wounds on it, meaning it only has 1 wound left. All right, no morale test, none of that stuff going on. We'll be back when there's more action. So here in the middle, we have this group of assault grunts. They're just making their way to that objective, and these scouts found themselves out in the field here, so they're taking off trying to intercept that. We'll have to see what happens next turn. All right, back down here, and these guys have not moved at all yet, so it is time for the rhinos to fire. They're just a one shot apiece because they're not really they're not really like a battle tank. So we got 3 hits, and they're going to be saving on a 6. So 3 more go down, so that's going to be this guy gone. This one over here. So now it is time for them to take a morale test. 1 dice. And wow, okay. Try that again. Yeah, they're going to pass. All right. And then the assault grunts are going to return the favor, coming in for close combat. Oh, and I realize they're all backwards. So even with only those 3 stands, they have 18 attacks. So we are going to roll. Looking for 5. Saving on a 3. For 2 wounds. Meaning one guy is down to 1, and then the Battle Brothers to fight back. It's going to be 9 attacks for those guys that are left. Hitting on a 3. That's way out there. And that is a weird way it fell. So they all hit. Saving on a 5. They save 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more go down. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're going to need a morale test. And they fail. Woo! Wrong button. Meaning they're going to go away. There we go. The Battle Brothers have successfully held that objective for now. Let's move around some stuff and be back. Here we are. The Titan has moved forward, and then the heavy battle tanks have set up. They pulled back a little bit, going, oh man, that is big. So they're going to hit on a 3. We got 4 hits. Titan saves on a 5. Ooh, it's going to take 9 wounds. So it only had 12 to start with, meaning it's got 3 left. We're going to need a morale test for him. And it passes. All right. We'll see what happens over here. At the beginning of the next turn, our destroyers have showed up close here to the ravaging beasts, and what we are going to do is we're going to start off with them, because otherwise things might get hairy. They're going to go ahead and charge in. Rawr. So here we go. We got 6 claws at 4 attacks apiece for 24 attacks, hitting on a 3 with the Furies because the character is right there. He's attached to them. Oh, that was cool. So hitting on a 3. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Furious hits. So here we go. We have our rending hits and we have our non-rending hits. All these going to save on a 4. 5, 6, 7. And then these over here on a 6. So we're 8, 9, 10, 11. So these guys, they have 6 wounds on each of the bases. That'll be 1 gone, and one of them is going to be down to 1 wound. There we go. Now they get to fight back. There's going to be 12 attacks coming back. Put this here. Hitting on a 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Saving on a 3. 1 wound goes through. Wow. All right. So they don't need to, well, they do need to take a morale test, but they're not going to run away. They are just going to be stunned. Okay, 5 wounds left on one of these stands. They disengage, and these guys are going to be stunned. I need a marker for that. There we go. My usual Marble of Doom. Down here on this bottom objective, these ravaging beasts are going to be able to make this charge. 18 attacks, hitting on a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. Saved on a 3. They're going to fail 2. Leaving one of the squads with 1 wound left. Fighting back. 9 attacks. Hitting on a 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 misses, and then saving on a 4. So failed 2. So 2-2. It was actually a tied combat. All right, so these guys just gonna pull back. This Titan is not activated yet, so let's see if we can drop them. All right, we got 4 hits. Yep, that'll do it. Bang. So our mortar beasts here, they are definitely going to be in range. Going to fire at these guys here. We got 3 spore guns. Okay, we got 2 hits. Those are blast 6, but there's only 3 models there. So this is a case of the blast rule making sense at this scale. Because if there were a ton of them, I could see them hitting 6. All right, saving on a 3, and any 1s count as 2. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is going to be enough to knock out that unit of destroyers. Here we have the assault grunts moving through, going towards that objective, and then the pathfinders are moving to intercept 24-inch range, or 24-centimeter range. Yep, they're all going to be in range. Hitting on a 4. So only 3. So, saving on a 6. No. That's going to be one of those Hormigant. That's going to be one of those assault squads. Go on. And then finally, we're going to have our APCs and our regular Battle Brother squads. We're going to fire into these here to break up this bottleneck we got going on. So we got 12 shots. I think this is a case to where I'm going to have it to where if you buy transports, they get attached to the unit and just become part of the unit, because that would just makes sense in my mind. So here we are, and this is why I'm doing this playtesting, to just see what would make sense. And in this case, it makes sense to me now that if you attach APCs to the squad, they all just become one entity. Why? Because it makes sense to me. So we're going to have all of them grouped together and shooting here. The reds are going to be our flamers. The blacks are going to be all the heavy rifles, hitting on 2s and 3s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 misses there. These are going to be saving on a 5. Then our flamethrowers. Blast 3 turns to 9 hits, saving on a 4. And for 2 more, so that's going to be enough to wipe out 1 base worth. Okay. Next turn. First activation of this turn, these tanks are going to fire at the ravaging beasts over there on a 3. Yeah, we got this many hits. And then on a 6. So boom, boom, so 2. So that'll be 6 go through. First one there. Next one just moves on for this guy. 2, 3. A ravaging beast charged in over here. Taking out 1 wound, which will transfer to this guy. Boom. Ooh, as I removed all the dice as well. So fighting back. Okay, it's going to be 3 hits. I'm not sure how I do that rolling it on the ground. That's pretty good. And they're going to lose 2. This guy down to 4. So once again, the Ravagers lost combat, it looks like. And this time they failed their morale test, but they are above half. Marble of Doom for them. Our destroyers are going to charge the mortar beasts. 8 attacks on 3. Alright. 1 miss. 2. Rending. Saving on 3. Ooh. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fails. None on a 6. 2 more. So for a total of 7. They were only tough 3 to start with. So boom, boom, and then 2 booms left there. 3 attacks back on a 4. Okay, 1 hit. Saving on a 3. And it's saved. So morale test for the mortar beast. It's going to fail. And with more than half gone, boom. Now over here, the Battle Brothers have fallen prey to the classic blunder, letting the shooter grunts with the double shot 6-inch guns get too close. So this pile of dice is how many shots they get. Let's move that over here. Hitting on a 5. So out of all that, they got 13 hits. Saving on something. So okay, let's break this up. No, this is interesting. If I put the transports with the unit, maybe I can make the transport an item to go on the unit. So if all the guys, like if all the Battle Brothers die, then the transports just disappear. Okay, that's a thought. See, this is why we do playtesting. Let me pull up my notepad. There we go, notepad. Make transports items. So when the unit dies, the transport goes away. This way I can add in like you can add in the weapons of the transport to the base shots of the unit. Give them. That takes away the armor value though. Add in custom rule that makes it make sense. Okay, that's we'll just save that there. Okay, so playtest notes, we'll save that. We'll come back to it later. So with that in mind, did I roll this? Yes, I did roll this. They're all AP1. Yeah, they're gone. So we're going to say that is enough to blip that squad. Okay. Now, since they're there, they've come in range of these guys. I have not fired yet the whole game. Okay, so they're going to get their shots. Could be 8 shots. 4, 8. Roll them. Okay, so we got 2 misses. Then saving on a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is actually going to wipe all 3 of these since they're only toughness 3 apiece. Damage 3 apiece. Just imagine not only laser cannons but any other heavy weapon just opening up and ripping into these shooters. So yeah, I can see that working. Or maybe I dumb it down even more instead of putting in like hard what type of weapons they are. I'll just break it down to like heavy weapons or squad weapons. It simplify the heck out of things. And we all know I like to keep it simple. Where's my notes? Simplify weapons. Make them by type. Okay, that's a thought. These are going to go there, grab that. These are going to go 6, but I think now I only go 6. Have I outpaced them? Nope, they can still shoot them. 9 shots on 4. So we got 3 hits. 7 out of 6. Nope, there'll be another loop gone. Yeah, just justifying it more to myself. In this scale, what really is the difference between, you know, mixing a squad and having a laser cannon or a plasma cannon or a heavy machine gun? Just have it as a base heavy weapons because, you know, the squads are toughness 3. Yeah, that makes sense. Ignore the stats on there. Well, actually, also, they're in French because the file I found was in French. Maybe I can lean on Epic a little more than I thought looking at those. Okay, moving on. Then we'll go here. These guys go forward 12 to there. These guys go to here. Then there. And you know what? I think we can call it there. Because this wasn't to see who would win. This was just a playtest to see what changes I could make, how to make this simple, how to make this easier. So yeah, I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna make some changes, and we'll see where this goes next. So that's gonna do it for me here tonight, guys, on the warbossfitz channel. yeah, if you have any ideas or anything you saw during the game that you thought might make sense, go ahead and leave a comment down at the bottom. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.